I stopped casting a shadow 3 weeks ago. I didn't notice at first who pays attention to their own shadow, but my girlfriend did. We were walking through the park on a Tuesday afternoon when she grabbed my arm and asked why the sunlight looked wrong around me. I laughed it off, told her the trees were blocking it, but when I looked down at the pavement, everyone around us had these long, sharp shadows stretching across the concrete. Everyone except me. Where my shadow should have been, there was just blank, undisturbed ground, as if the light passed straight through my body without resistance. That night, I stood under every lamp in my apartment. Kitchen light, bathroom light, the harsh LED in my bedroom, nothing. My reflection was there in the mirror, pale and worried, but the floor beneath me remained perfectly illuminated, untouched by darkness. I told myself it was a trick of perception, stress from work. Maybe I needed glasses. The mind finds ways to explain the impossible, doesn't it? We're wired to reject what doesn't fit. The photographs started disappearing on Thursday. Not all at once. Just fading. My girlfriend showed me her phone. We'd taken dozens of pictures at her sister's wedding 2 months ago. I was in all of them, or I had been. Now, in photo after photo, there was just empty space where I'd stood, a gap in the group shots, a missing groomsman. In one picture, you could see my girlfriend's arm extended, wrapped around nothing, her smile aimed at vacant air. She stared at her screen, swiping back and forth between images, her face drained of color. She asked me what was happening. I had no answer. I grabbed my own phone with shaking hands and opened my photo library. Same thing. Birthday parties, hiking trips, family dinners. I was being erased from all of them, like someone had gone through with digital scissors and carefully cut me out of my own life. But I could still see myself in the mirror. I could still touch my own skin, feel my heartbeat. I was real. I had to be real. By Friday, my coworkers stopped acknowledging me in the hallways. I'd say, "Good morning," and they'd walk right past, staring through me like I was furniture. In meetings, I'd speak up, and the silence would stretch until someone else said the exact same thing I'd just said, and everyone would nod and respond to them. I started documenting everything. I wrote my name on sticky notes and plastered them around my apartment. David Chen, born April 3rd, 1991. I exist. I exist. I exist. I recorded videos of myself talking, describing my day, proving I was here. When I played them back, the audio was there, my voice, clear and steady, but the screen showed only my empty apartment. The camera pointed at a chair no one was sitting in. My girlfriend came over on Saturday. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept. She stood in my doorway and asked if we could talk. I invited her in, but she didn't move. Just stood there, staring past me into the apartment. She said she'd been thinking a lot. About us, about how things hadn't been working for a while. She said she needed space, needed time to figure things out on her own. The words came out rehearsed, hollow. I reached for her hand, and she flinched, but not like she was pulling away from me. Like she'd felt a sudden cold breeze from an open window. I asked her what she was really seeing when she looked at me. She opened her mouth, closed it. Her eyes were wet. She said she had to go, and then she left, and I realized she'd been talking to my apartment the whole time. She'd been breaking up with the empty air, with the memory of someone who used to be there. I stopped eating Sunday morning. Not intentionally, I just forgot. I'd reach for a glass of water and my hand would pass through it, or maybe I'd forget I'd even wanted water in the first place. The thought would simply evaporate. I sat at my kitchen table for hours, trying to remember what hunger felt like, trying to remember if I'd eaten yesterday, or the day before, or ever. The sticky notes were blank now, yellow squares covering my walls, but whatever I'd written on them had vanished. I knew I'd written something important, something about who I was. But when I tried to remember my own name, my mind hit a wall of static. Monday. I didn't go to work. I'm not sure I have a job anymore. I called the office at least. I think I did. I can't remember if anyone answered. I can't remember if I actually dialed, or if I just stood there holding my phone, staring at a screen that might have been off the whole time. My reflection is fading now, too. When I look in the mirror, I can see the bathroom behind me more clearly than I can see my own face. I'm becoming translucent, a smudge, a suggestion of a person. I can see the tile wall through my chest, see the shower curtain through my hands. I drove to my parents' house Tuesday morning, or maybe it was afternoon. Time feels negotiable now, like it's happening to someone else. My mother answered the door and smiled the way she smiles at delivery drivers. Polite, distant. I asked if she knew who I was. She said she didn't understand the question. Was there something she could help me with? I could see my father in the living room behind her, reading the newspaper. I tried to step inside, and she gently closed the door, apologizing, saying they weren't interested in whatever I was selling. I sat in my car in their driveway for 3 hours, or maybe 3 minutes. A memory surfaced. Birthdays, childhood. My mother teaching me to ride a bike, but it felt secondhand, like I was remembering a movie I'd seen about someone else's life. I think I understand now what's happening. I'm not disappearing. I never existed in the first place. Or maybe I existed once, briefly, and now the world is correcting itself, smoothing over the mistake of me like water filling in footprints on a beach. The apartment is emptier than it was this morning. Furniture, I'm certain, was here. A bookshelf, a lamp, a desk. They're gone now, or maybe they were never there. The walls are bare, no pictures, no sticky notes, just blank white paint and the sound of my breathing, if I'm actually breathing. I tried to write this down, to leave some record that I was here, but I can't find any paper. I can't find a pen. I'm typing on my phone, I think, but when I look at the screen, I can't tell if there are words there or if it's just black glass reflecting nothing. Tomorrow, I don't think I'll wake up. Not because I'll die. Death implies you were alive first. I'll simply stop being a thing that happens. The world will continue without the interruption of me, and no one will notice the space I used to occupy because there was never any space to begin with. But here's what terrifies me most. I can feel myself starting to forget that I'm forgetting. The thought of me is eating itself. Soon there won't even be this last gasp of awareness, this final moment of knowing that I'm disappearing. I wonder if this has happened before. I wonder if I've faded and returned and faded again, over and over, an existence that can't quite stick. I wonder if somewhere, in a reality I can almost remember, there's a version of the world where I left a shadow, where photographs held my face, where my mother opened the door and said my name. I can't remember my name anymore, but I think somewhere, someone still does.